Greetings, welcome back to my channel, and in this week's video we'll be making a Cajun chicken quesadilla. We're going to first begin by deboning our meat, and I'm using a chicken thigh and breast. After cleaning and washing our meat, we're going to work on our marinade, which is a tablespoon of plain yogurt, jerk seasoning, Cajun seasoning, smoked paprika, chili, pepper, parsley, and ground cumin. I'm going to mix those together. Then I'm going to add that to the yogurt to make a paste and rub that all over the meat and allow it to sit for anywhere between 4 hours overnight, how much of a time you have. So I personally don't like the taste of store-bought tortillas, so making your own is also pretty easy. So here I'm just making the dough for that, which is just baking powder and salt. I'm going to whisk that together, ensure that it's well incorporated before you move on to your next step. Your next step is mixing some melted butter and warm water together. I actually just melted my butter into the water, so it's pretty hot. So instead of using my hand to start the dough, I used a spoon because why am I gonna bread myself? So we're now going to incorporate our wet and dry ingredient. It's going to form a shaggy dough. Once the flour is fully saturated and you feel like it probably not gonna burn you that bad anymore, you can go ahead and start forming the dough with your hand, bringing it together. The dough has come together into a ball, like once it sticks to itself and it's not falling apart, then you can go ahead and allow it to rest for 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, we're going to come back and work the dough. Once your dough has been completely formed, you can also go ahead and take your chicken out of the fridge so that it can come back to room temp for when you're ready to cook it. Back to the dough now. Once you get that nice little ball, you're going to cover it with saran wrap or a damp paper towel or a kitchen cloth if you have it, to rest for 30 minutes. So after your 30 minutes, to a floured surface, you're going to knead the dough for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, not any long time. We just want to formulate some more gluten. After that little kneading process, we're going to go ahead and section our dough into balls, which are going to be our tortillas. And I just use my hand. If you have a kitchen scale, that would be best, but I use my hands to measure like the weight that that's a skill I've acquired. Anywho, we're going to form dough balls, and then we're going to allow them to rest for maybe 10 to 15 minutes before we start rolling them out into tortillas. After all your dough balls have been formed, we're going to cover them with our little piece of saran wrap again and just cover it so that no skin is formed and the dough remains soft. the dough is resting, you can go ahead and prep anything else that you're going to use. I'm going to use some veggies, and here I'm using sweet peppers, just an assortment of colors. After I chop all my sweet peppers, I'm also going to chop one whole onion, and those will be the veggies that I'll be using for my quesadilla. If you like anything else, you can add anything else. If not, subtract anything that you want. Time for our tortillas. So you want to have a floured surface. You also want to flour the dough because you don't want it sticking to the rolling pin, because we're trying to get this as flat as possible, and in order to get it as flat as possible, we need flour. So you want to flour generously and roll. Keep lifting and moving and whatever you need to do, and keep rolling. After that, we're going to add it to a hot skillet. You don't need oil. Maybe for the initial one you want to add a little oil to the pot, but as it goes on, you don't need to have oil. Here, once you've noticed these bubbles, you're going to go ahead and flip it. Getting these bubbles take 30 seconds to a minute each time, and don't use your hand. Don't be like Abby, use something. After I've flipped and finished all my tortillas, here they are. They're beautiful, they're sexy. Yeah. Just showing you them. For our chicken, we're just going to cook it on medium heat with a little oil in the pot. You're just basically frying the chicken until it is cooked through. So I just placed all my pieces into the pot, allow them to cook on the underside, and then flipped it over, allow it to cook on the other side, and that was pretty much it. And in the same pot that you fried the chicken, you're not going to remove anything, any burnt pieces or whatever from the bottom. We're going to add our veggies and allow them to sweat. So you want them soft but not like mushy. So just until they're cooked through, or maybe a little translucent. Your veggies were cooking, you're allowing the chicken to rest, and once you're ready to cut it, it should cut nicely. I cut mine in diagonal strips. If you want to chop it up, you chop it up, but I like it like this. Now we have everything, and it's time to build our quesadillas. So I start off with the tortilla, cheese, chicken, and the veggies. You want to do this on low heat because you want to give it time to melt the cheese, but you also don't want the tortilla to burn. So you need to be very mindful of that. So once the cheese is melted, you're basically done. You take them off, you cut them up, and that's that. Now just look at beautiful, look at gorgeous, look at effortless beauty. And this brings us to the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.